Welcome back to another rebuild on the channel, and I know this is another rebuild that maybe could have been the Saints, and I just decided to do the Buffalo Bills, another team that obviously probably doesn't technically need a rebuild, but that Chargers one almost went the full distance, so check that one out if you wanted to see it. The Bills in Madden may actually be worse than the Chargers. Obviously, they're a really good team and one of the top competitors in the league to win it all this next upcoming season. But as far as like positions you have to replace in game, there's definitely a few more in my opinion. There's a lot of offensive linemen. There is technically maybe a running back and a lot of defenders, especially with Von Miller aging. But talking about real life now, Josh Allen still one of the best quarterbacks in the league and maybe the most fun quarterback to watch. It's weird to say as a Packers fan, but Justin Fields is up there for most fun. Not necessarily because he's like the greatest passer, but just because he obviously can run around like a madman, and it is kind of fun to see. Is he going to make the crazy throw? Is he not going to? But yeah, some fun football ahead of us in the league with guys like Allen, and I know it's weird to say him in the same breath, but Fields, these running quarterbacks can get it done with their legs and their arm, but obviously Allen kind of on a different stratosphere in the passing game. Offensive line needs to improve, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if they really did that. They tried to really settle down this guard position, but right tackle could use some work. I almost want to use Spencer Brown just because he has more potential, and I've always wanted to see him do well in game because he's just massive, but I've never really used him. I think I might just do it. Right tackle, the Questenberries. Rich family history, apparently, in the NFL. A lot of them playing in the league right now, but not particularly great. And then this is the worst of the two Connor McGoverns, but what can I do? He's the guard. But yeah, a lot of guards. They brought in a lot of them. Ryan Bates probably should be our left guard. I'm actually going to play him there. Don't know how exactly this offensive line fits together, but this is what it's going to look like for us in game. Deion Dawkins is pretty good. He's obviously their best lineman. Morse is good enough. Tight end Knox is, he's probably above average. Super, speedy, obviously. And then Dalton Kincaid, the first-round rookie. This is just an idea of just getting the best receiving option on the board at the time. Definitely, in my opinion, hopping the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they definitely hopped him, but would the Cowboys have taken him? You would assume. They kind of saved the NFC a little bit because that Cowboys offense would have looked insane. Dalton Kincaid was obviously one of the best receivers in the entire draft, and how he fits with their team, I mean, he could probably play a little bit outside, inside, obviously, and they kind of struggled in the middle of the field last year. So, once again, just getting more weapons, whether it's, supposed to be a wide receiver like, JSN would have been probably perfect, but obviously went at 20 or not. Just getting more options on the offense, it's a great way to stop the blitz is when you have to cover everyone, and it's impossible to do so as is. But Stephon Diggs, obviously one of the best receivers in the league, probably just inside the top 5. It's hard to tell because, off the top of the head, it's like Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, 1A, 1B, and Tyreek Hill's right there, 1A, 1B, 1C. It's really tough, but top 5, top 8 minimum. And then obviously Gabe Davis. They would have loved to see him take the next step. He obviously had a better season statistically, but you really would have thought the way he played in that playoff game that he would have really had himself a year, which wasn't necessarily true. Damian Harris, pretty good yards per carry guy, but this team's got to avoid these injury players. James Cook could even be reunited with his brother, if you will. I wouldn't say reunited, but you know what I mean. As Dalvin Cook apparently is supposedly going to get released. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, talk about a real step back. I'm not really sure what Minnesota's doing. Is Minnesota trying to rebuild with their old, average-ish quarterback? Are they not trying to just make that offense that's really solid on paper just good enough to try and, carry the defense? I don't know what's going on over there, but could Dalvin join this team? I don't know. They've got a decent group of running backs, though. I think I would just be happy with what I got if I was Buffalo. And then defensively, obviously losing Tremaine Edmonds is pretty big. Replacing him with Dorian Williams, I should probably have showed Dalton Kincaid, which we will in a sec. I don't really know a whole lot about some of these rookies, and I kind of just base it, I just let the roster I downloaded dictate, which I'm going to be honest with you, this guy's roster, it has a lot of the players, but a lot of players are really bad. Their heights are wrong, their weights are wrong, most of the time their race is wrong. If you can't even get the race right, it's that's like bare minimum. Like, you should know if the dude's white or not white. Like, and this guy had Dorian Williams as like an 80 speed linebacker. It's like, really, dude? I mean, come on. Like, the bare minimums. I just want to see the bare minimums. If you don't know his coverage or his block shed, fair enough. But you should at least know, hey, this guy ran a 40 time, a 4 or 5, whatever. He's not 80 speed, simply put. Bernard, I don't know a lot about him either. I don't think he's really played a whole lot. Milano's an above-average linebacker for sure. I think it's fair to have him as a high overall, but not quite a superstar. He's like right there. Safety's probably the best duo in the league still, adding Taylor Rapp. And then Damar Hamlin, you know, he was a pretty good competitor and contributor for the Bills, but obviously the injury cleared to play. So, I mean, if that's what he wants to do, I'm not going to stop him. You know, there's some people that would like, you know, if their passion is something, they'd rather die literally than to give up their passion, and there's something admirable about that. So really hope he stays healthy and you know, gets to continue living out his dream. Kyrie Elam, not a great rookie year, obviously, but time to grow, I suppose. Trey White, I don't want to make Bills fans mad, but like, Trey White's kind of on the cusp of like overrated at this point. Like, I don't know if I would say he's a 92 overall X Factor. He's very good, but I don't know if I would say he's a 92 overall X Factor. Obviously, Von Miller's super amazing when healthy, but that age is catching up. Ed Oliver with a big contract lately. Little risky, but with the DT market these days, it's technically on the lower end, so you can kind of see where they went with that. Greg Rousseau, obviously a career year, really good stuff. And then Poona Ford's going to be our number 2. So, I mean, like I said, in real life, really good roster. In game, not that great because Poyer and Hyde are going to regress hard. Milano's 28 at star, so he's going to regress soon. Von Miller may retire in a season or two. You know, that's already like half the defense you have to replace. O-line, half the O-line needs to be replaced. Maybe running back if they don't play well. So, I mean, there's a lot to fix, but we'll see what happens with this first season. And, yeah, let me know what team you want to see next. As, you know, I've got a couple of teams like the Saints, the Bears, the Raiders. I think there's a lot of really good teams still left to rebuild, and yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe leave a like and subscribe while you're down there. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support on the channel. Let's get into this Bills rebuild. Will it be a Dynasty-type rebuild where we win multiple? Will we win no Super Bowls, or will we just catch one in year 4, year 5 maybe? We'll see. Also, hey, here we go. Hey, I almost forgot to show them, but Dalton Kincaid, run block's probably a little bit higher than it should be, but I kind of just left him as is. And, you know, there's that. Obviously, decent vertical threat option, obviously. So, deep route being 68 is a little iffy, but he is a backup. I try to put him in, you know, as many starting roles as I could to get him some snaps because he should easily finish with 300 yards minimum, right? Like, at least. And then, of course, where the hell? There he is. Leonard Floyd, obviously, they added him. I don't know what the contract was. I'll probably have to adjust that, but definitely not a bad depth piece. There's teams that have obviously used him as their true starter on the edge, and it's worked out fine. So him being a depth piece is obviously really nice for a team that, assuming Von Miller stays healthy, is definitely one of the better pass rush duos in the league. You know, Greg Rousseau had himself a year. So it's a 1-year 7, and it's fully guaranteed. So, I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't really hurt me. Oh, wow, we're broke. Nice. Good thing we don't actually have to pay anyone other than Damian Harris and Taylor Rapp, who I don't know if they have contracts in real life more than a season. I'll have to check that out. But apparently we're negative 5.2 mil, which is obviously far from good. So it is a 1 year for Damian, which I would love to keep him if he's decent, but I don't know if that's possible. And Taylor Rapp is also the exact same money, I believe, even the same like guarantees, if I'm not mistaken. It has given everyone a 1.7 over there. I'm willing to join. I mean, I'm like, if you need like a backup fullback that never plays, like I'm kind of down. Like, a little bit of a turnaround on the season after struggling is going to set us up with an 11-6 three-way tie for the East, which gives us a wild card spot. Speaking of that Chargers team, 13-4. I believe in that rebuild we did make the playoffs year 1, right? I don't even know. But Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback. Really bad start. I was like, oh, Lord, here goes the scheme situation again. 2-4 to start, and then finishing off nicely with 11-6. And obviously, it's pretty tough opponents in there along the way. Let's take a look at the actual numbers, though, because once again, I did move around different positions and players. So Josh Allen with 5,000 yards on the nose, 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's perfectly fine. Rushing, Damian Harris just didn't get much volume, but he actually did have a pretty good yards per carry and touchdown season. Receiving, Kincaid, nice. Okay, so no touchdowns. I would love to see a little more out of him, but then again, when you look at Knox, it's like he didn't really do that much better. He like doubled his yards and his catches, but touchdowns are pretty low. Hardy was pretty good, which, I mean, to be fair, in 2021 for the Saints, for a while, he was kind of looking like one of the best slot receivers in the league. Diggs did not, I guess technically did play better than Gabe Davis when you consider the fact that he had better yards per reception. But Gabe Davis, maybe superstar. That's a pretty good season. Touchdowns are on point as well. Tackles, not great. Spencer Brown is obviously a worse player, so I expect it. But Dawkins at 10, a little more than I would have liked. Ed Oliver with 11 could go to superstar. Rousseau with 17, and then Von Miller with only 6.5. Be nice to see these two go up in dev, though. Interceptions, Matt Milano, please go up in dev. So it kind of seems like whether or not we win the Super Bowl or not, we're going to have some dev ups on defense at some very, very prominent positions. Ed Oliver getting that huge contract. Milano, who's on the older side. Rousseau, who's obviously a young top-tier edge rusher. Those are really big names for us, and I think you got to really make sure that you don't lose Rousseau. I think he is like a clear-cut guy we just can't let happen. I mean, look, he might even be an X-Factor. So, yeah, best D-line with the sack total he had might be an X-Factor, which is kind of crazy, but very likely. Let's see it, though. Bills versus Chargers, both 87 overalls. Both have their strengths and their weaknesses. Who will win? 10-14. Obviously, we know that our offense is, I guess, to be fair, they're both pretty even, offense and defense. It's just there's more aging pieces on defense, if you will. Up by 10, and we will hold on with a 3-point victory. That's a pretty good game. I mean, it wouldn't have been a super exciting one because it seemed like the scoring was kind of like far in between. But as far as like how close it would have been exciting. Quarterbacks both played pretty well, with Allen just kind of outshining Herbert, even though they both played well. Rushing, Damian Harris was solid. James Cook, I worry because you kind of expect James Cook to be the future at this position, whereas it doesn't seem that way. You know, Damian Harris seems like a guy I should want to keep, but I don't know if I can afford him. Also, I don't know how the hell Chase Claypool is here. He was literally a bear. How is this even possible? Did they release Chase Claypool because they had too many players? I actually don't understand how that's possible, but sure, I guess. Why not? Tyler Bass missing a kick on top of it, still winning. Not a bad upgrade for Trey White with the 1 to speed. Chargers are super hit or miss in the win-loss category, but, I mean, they were pretty good, and they're obviously, 13-4 with a great roster, so winning that game was nice, obviously. The Steelers with a 14-3 season is shocking. I don't know how that's even possible. All right, let's see it. See it on the other side. The Cowboys are in the championship game, and we're looking really good to start. I mean, okay, we give a safety, apparently. I don't know how that's even possible with Josh Allen. Like, I actually feel like it's impossible. Like, has Josh Allen given up a safety in his career? Because I just don't think it's physically possible. It's so rare to get a safety in general, but for a guy his size, it's, like, impossible. Like, other than, like, a grounding call, and we barely win. Headed to the championship round, up by 5. For that game. Steelers, I would assume, were the bye-week team for the AFC. Josh Allen, another amazing performance. Najee Harris getting locked down. Damian Harris, I got to find a way, dude. Like, he's just been over 4 yards per carry, which is what I need. Alex Highsmith killed it. Ed Oliver, really good game. And then another miss from Tyler Bass. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we got to keep Damian Harris. The two players, weirdly enough, that I want to keep the most are Damian Harris and Greg Rousseau. It's a weird group, but that's who I want. That's who I want. I don't care how it happens. It's just going to, and you are going to accept it. Also, I didn't show Cyrus Torrence, but, offensive lineman, hidden development trade, or star development trade, if you will. All right, now this is usually where things go bad for every team that isn't the Chiefs. The Chiefs represent, especially in the first season, the AFC side a lot. But let's see. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if the Bills can win a year 1 Super Bowl. In the snow. What a classic. Considering our ground game seemingly is better than theirs, this should be a game that we should have the advantage, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Already 7-0, 7-7, nice counter. It's kind of real 50-50 so far. Both teams moving down but not scoring. And we do get a field goal, so up by 3. Oh, man, we really need a touchdown. We're driving down and we're just not finishing. And right now, it's not looking good. 3rd and 7, I mean, you kind of have to have this, it seems. running the blitz. Putting forward's probably the worst player on the field right now, so I guess him is who I go with. And out route, I mean, that's just too easy. MVS may score. Johnson, you want to actually take... He doesn't take the angle. Touchdown. A little out route, and MVS just takes it all the way. I get it's a blitz, but still. Chiefs are just built in the game. I don't know what it is. Like, I get the Chiefs have been pretty good in real life, but, like, EA with their stupid, well, they're good in real life, so I'm going to force them to be gods in the game mentality and coding is just so stupid. It's just annoying, but Josh Allen, did not play well. Damian Harris, ironically enough, did not play well, and we ended up losing the game. There's not really much more to it. Matt Milano, pretty good stuff. I guess we're just hoping that the dev-ups we kind of expect to happen, because obviously even though we made the championship round, didn't result in a Super Bowl win, and that's the ultimate goal, so basically a failed season. Cowboys versus Chiefs in the Super Bowl, with the winner being the Chiefs. Who would have thought? I mean, they lost by that much. We never really had a chance, did we? DevOps, Gabe Davis. I've seen a lot of star dev Gabe Davises, so for him to go to Superstar, I guess does just, hey, I really thought Rousseau would have went to X Factor, to be honest, but we'll take what we can get, obviously. D-Lineman of the Year, Superstar Dev. Ed Oliver went up in Dev just off of his season, which, once again, begs the question of how did Greg not go to X Factor, but hey, whatever makes it cheaper in his re-signing, I guess. But Ed Oliver, obviously, Superstar development trait now, which is pretty big considering he has that 4-year, $68 million deal. It's technically a 5-year, so, he's a little raw, but he is Superstar Dev, so we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, Milano went up in Dev, which is massive, and then Bernard, who I really wish it was Williams instead, went up in Dev. What did Bernard do to get there, though? Like, I just don't understand how DevUps work. I just don't. But it says we have 20 mil. I want to go to re-signings. I'm debating on Damian Harris, because outside of the last playoff game, he was great all the way throughout the season. Just under 1,000 yards. Do you keep him on a 5-year 31? That is a lot of years and a decent bit of money. 5-year 33. Happy to sign. I mean, we got a running back for what? Like $5-6 million per year? $6 million? Is that the number? 6 times 5? Kind of. A little more than that. But, yeah, wrap, backup. Not really worth the money. I mean, I'll give him just because we are kind of lacking. 4-year 20 is not going to cut it. So I guess all these guys are going to be gone, and I might try to get rid of even more. I know we're regressing hard on the point of talent, but as far as salaries go, we do have to pay some other players soon, don't we? Rousseau, so we have another year with Rousseau. Who else do we have to pay? So Hyde would be gone. I can't get rid of him just yet. Daquan Jones, sadly. I can actually cheese this. I think I'm going to have to. I think I have to let go of Jones. Some of these real-life contracts, they play a big factor. In other other teams where it's like a developing team, you might need a quarterback. I'm like, whatever, I'll pay them the extra year. But like these teams that have these franchise quarterbacks, that have these crazy contracts, they're built that tightly that like, a $6 million off the books contract, it would make so much of a difference on the team. So, when it comes down to it, I literally have to for some of these guys like Jones, who, he's not even a starter anyways. I'm going to have to clear his money because I would assume that means that he, in real life, would not have this contract because obviously, well, I mean, we're a year in the future, but technically we're a year behind in-game. Yeah, his real-life dead hit is 7 mil, but obviously we just got done with this season, so technically it's not 7 mil. All right, did what I could for any of the contracts like the, Daquan Jones, but best I could do is get us to 31 mil, which I would assume is going to not be used. We need to save that for guys like Gabe Davis, Rousseau, and other players that may need contracts in the future. But if we keep this money we have right now, in the back pocket, make sure nobody, peeks into the jar and, keep it in the safe, we should be fine. So I'm going to likely save all this money unless it is to grab a quote-unquote cheaper player that will be replacing someone for the future. Like if we grab a safety now to replace Poyer/Hyde next season, I can live with it. But if it's like a guy that's like a brand new position that we're not even like considering right now, I don't know how the hell some of these guys are in free agency, then obviously I'm not going to do it. Team loves their backups, so Terrell Burgess, the backup free safety, 2-year 8, which is super good. 90 speed, I mean, maybe even like future starter, perhaps. Coverage, zone coverage is a little bad, but man coverage is decent. Whatever, backup no matter what. So maybe kind of went against our rules already about the whole like signing backups thing. So linebackers obviously a need, but Dorian Williams had a pretty good year. I'm really shocked he didn't go to star, and Bernard did go to star, so we'll keep an eye out, but technically not the biggest need. I mean, realistically, what would I have replaced him with? Bobby Wagner, who I think probably retires a Seahawk at this rate since he returned anyways, and then Devin Bush, who I think has multiple-year contract. Maybe he actually doesn't, but even then, I'm not paying him like $10 million per year, so I mean, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter having those guys, although I am interested here in the very bad coverage Rashaan Evans. First pick in the draft apparently goes to the Detroit Lions. Now, I'm debating on what I want to do because there is a free safety that looks pretty good. He's not, like, guaranteed to be a god good, but he could play corner, but more importantly, he is very athletic for a safety. You know, if this was a cornerback, I'd be like, yeah, he's pretty good. I probably want him, but I wouldn't guarantee it. But because he's a safety and this kind of speed is rare, I want him more than ever. But there are also other really good safeties, other really good players in general, and I'm debating on what I want to do because I would obviously have to trade up for that safety. Well, I'd at least assume because 1 to 2 could actually be like second round. But because he's so good, I highly doubt that's going to be the case. But is safety that big of a need to where I would make that play as, I mean, he wouldn't even technically start year one. So if he's not very good, it's kind of a waste. And there are definite positions we need. This isn't like a rebuild situation where we're taking what we kind of want, don't really need anything. We need things. We definitely need positions. Corner wouldn't hurt. DT, obviously. O-line. But if this safety is there around like 20-ish, I think I have no choice but to try and make a play. So call me crazy, but Jordan Poyer needs a contract after this season. I'm going to trade 29 and Jordan Poyer for 20 and 116 from the Packers. They needed strong safety as their apparent number one need. And, of course, safety is a need for us in the future for both spots. Getting younger this season with Javon Kelly, hoping he's decent, and he looks to be that. Hidden development trait, 95 speed for a free safety. That is not common. And now I'm debating on what I want to do because there is a 6'4" corner. That is a further from a need thing right now, though, as Teron Johnson is actually, he's quite young still. He's like 27, 28, which, I mean, it's not young, but as an 84, 85 overall, he should be good. But it is tough to pass on a 6'4" corner. These guys are like always good. Look how much elite he has. I think this might be another situation where it's like pick 10 if he's there. I might make a play. Also, you could argue that the safety we just grabbed is a corner, and this guy could play safety, even though he's a little bit on the slower side. So there are options for us. I just don't know what exactly I want to do because DT is the biggest need, and I'm kind of not addressing it. Phelps looks decent too, though. Peterson. I mean, this is tough. There's so many options, but like making the right one is, kind of the troubling part here. All right, another trade up, 61, Connor McGovern, and a third next year for 42 from the Bears, which we're going to be using, I believe, on that cornerback. There are other options, and I don't really have a whole lot to go with here, and I know a lot of people cry about me trading up, but the amount of talent I have here, I'm willing to trade up every time for the players that I think are going to be good. There's some DN, some DTs. I think I'd be fine with taking Phelps in the maybe 4th round, perhaps. I'm not sure how long he'll last, but 6'4" corner, fast, I think every day of the week is worth it, especially when they're hidden. 95 speed, 95 excel, 92 jump. I mean, he truly is elite. And I'm going to make another trade. Taron Johnson to the Rams for 65 and Landon Collins. I know it's debatable to be making these types of moves when you just made it to the championship round, but I think getting younger, getting better in the long run is worth it, and I only took Landon Collins because they needed money, and they had a billion safety or linebackers, so I was like, screw it, dude, I'm just going to grab him. Anyone remaining that we didn't expect to be here, a different Phelps is here, Mr. Jordan Phelps. So I basically just traded up for a spot I didn't even know I wanted to make a selection at. JoJo Stewart looks pretty good. Obviously, there's players, but like, who do you want the most? I don't know. I guess I'll take JoJo Stewart. Please just be hidden. Thank you. Took Stewart. That's basically that. I really don't want to lose Phelps, but I'm going to go there anyways. Pick 29. Hopefully he's there because we needed a DT. And hopefully he's good as well. A finesse, C block shed. We're taking a chance. Not the strongest, but strong enough, athletic enough. Emmanuel Phelps. Another hidden. 87 strength, 75 speed. We are doing really well here in the draft. I don't know what overalls these areas are going to be, obviously, but, I mean, they look so far so good. Any other positions that I want to... Are all the linemen already gone? So we only got one lineman out of this class, which is a bit brutal. This corner is also very interesting because he is super fast, but we just don't really need corners anymore, so I guess we just ignore that. Next pick, I suppose, would be the linebacker. One of the linebackers, probably Terrell Young if he's there, but also looking pretty raw. So we're going to the 4th round, and whoever's there is there. And I do want that running back. I don't think we really need a running back, but a bunch of A's, even though he has a UDFA, is, I mean, good enough for my book, honestly. So would love to see another lineman here. Let's actually take a look at Love because he's 6'3", 21 years old, so they're both freaking tall, or they're both young. This guy's tall, though. Great speed, good excel. 4.54 versus... Oh, he's actually 22. Faster. I know the zone, but the other ratings, I'd actually probably rather have these potential ratings. I'm going to go, honestly, with Will Love, 6'3", 21. Hidden development trade. Not going to go for both, but I am curious to see how good the other guy is. So we'll see if I remember to check how good he actually was. And this is a little early, but I might take that running back now, actually. 22 years old, 6'6". I don't really think he's going to be the future at the edge, so, I mean, there's really no point in me grabbing him. Henry Morton, could he be the future of safeties? He's decently fast, but he's short. This is a really dumb risk, but I'm going to take him, Henry Morton. And another hidden! This is actually insane. Like, I actually really did believe, like, one of these guys was probably going to be normal. Maybe even the DT even. But this guy with the A ball carrier, A break tackle, A carrying, 21 years old, decent athleticism is our guy. Kenny Logan, you finally get your normal depth, but 92 speed. I got to imagine he's a decent overall. That's a lot of A key ratings. And let's go to the 7th round. Take a look at the draft recap, why don't we? Epinesa, I forgot about him. He's actually star. He might be worth like a 4th round pick. 80 overall. Holy crap. Running back was worth it. Strong safety, 68. So I will say some of these guys were pretty low overall. Not the free safety. Not the free safety. 95 speed, 81 zone. Is this a generational? The thing is, it's either a generational or it's a star dev player. There's like no in-betweens. And he is star. Damn. But still, I feel a lot better. Like miles better about my trade. Miles better. I knew there was something special about him because of that speed. Boy, was there. 75 overall for the 6'4" corner. Obviously a little raw, but I think he's straight up the number 2. Thrown against a 6'4", speedy, high, potential corner is really tough. Especially when they're superstar. Usually these guys are star dev, so I'm a little surprised that he's superstar. Will take it. But, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and I wanted to start that, so there it is. JoJo Stewart, decent finesse, can move around a little bit. I think this is our new right tackle. 6'4", 311's kind of built for it. And I'm just going to start Bates at left guard, I think. Star dev for the tackle. I mean, now the tackle drops at 69 overall. Phelps, I think, is the number 2 DT because, well, I mean, he's the highest potential guy we have, and our current number 2 DT is not great anyways, but still, we'll take a look what the dev is. I mean, I would imagine a lot of these guys are going to be star here on out, and so far, so true. What else do we have? Will Love, which I will love to start him, and believe it or not, it's going to be over Bernard. I know Bernard just got to star, but I think this guy has higher potential. Dorian Williams, I think, has higher potential than Bernard, and superstar. Okay, he's definitely higher potential. And just in general, Dorian Williams, I just think is better. He's younger, he's better, he's just the guy. And then Morton, I would assume if he was going to play anywhere, it'd probably be the free safety spot. Man coverage sucks, so he's definitely not playing corner. And because of the 6'4" corner we got, I don't think the strong safety we have now is going to play corner. So free safety. Okay, can I get to the number? I guess 31. Dev, unshockingly star. And then we'll take a look at the running back, who's kind of the last player. I want to take a look at the other linebackers. It was a 50-50 toss-up. And, yeah, this running back looks good. 82 truck, 85 stiff. Very speedy with that pure speed. Has a bunch of catching traits for whatever reason. Juke moves 81. I mean, he looks solid. He definitely was worth the pick, even though he may never play for us. And then the linebacker was at the 4th round we had him. I don't know when the guy would have went, so I'm, kind of just guessing. Was this him? It was him. 71 overall to the Chiefs. Also hidden in fairness. But very hard to beat our guy, I'll be honest with you. He's older, he's shorter, and our guy was superstar. So he'd have to be an X Factor, and even then I don't think it would, either way it wouldn't have mattered, because even as an X Factor, he wouldn't have been as good, because our guy's got an extra year to develop. And here was the speedy corner, Kindley, normal development trade, but obviously super speedy. We traded Epinesa and Spencer Brown to the Raiders for 111, which, not great for us, but we get something out of them. Here we are with Season 2. We definitely regressed the roster overall-wise, but as far as, potential-wise, we've done kind of a decent job. Definitely need to do better on the offensive line, though. We need a new center. We could kind of use a new left guard. And obviously Dawkins hasn't played well, but, what am I supposed to do? He's an 86 overall. Receivers across the board are perfectly fine. Quarterback's obviously perfectly fine. And hopefully Damian Harris is good, because we paid him a 5-year, $33 million deal. We do also have Logan as a backup, James Cook as a backup, and Hines as a backup. Very solid running back group. DT2 hopefully is the future linebacker. We're still betting on Dorian Williams to be that guy. Is he 24 now? He's 22. That might not actually be correct, though. I might have to edit that. And then obviously the left outside linebacker's future-proof. He's like superstar dev, isn't he? I think he was superstar. Kelly is amazing. Morton could be the starting free safety. We'll see. Right now he's the backup, and then cornerbacks are great. So really, you kind of look at what we need for the future. Maybe running back, for sure center, for sure guard, middle linebacker perhaps, right end for sure, and then maybe a free safety. Other than that, we have literally everything we need, assuming we can afford it all. Oh my, no, this is not good. We have $16 million apparently, and we're going to lose our slot wide receiver and Micah Hyde, which, I'm okay with losing Micah Hyde, I suppose, but as far as Gabe Davis goes, our best bet to re-sign him is literally at the end of the season, which is going to cost us tremendously. So Greg Rousseau just got an X Factor breakout. He is somehow ultimately him. And I think win or lose, we should be in the playoffs, and we do win on top of it. The Jets killing it with a 15-2 season. We were actually really close to them, and then we lost against them in a 1-1. Oh, it wouldn't matter. Anyways, the Raiders 14-3. AFC is going off. We lost against them in head-to-head, and we, from there, lost a couple of games on top of it. Show you guys the season as it went, though. As you can see, pretty decent. Then we lost to the Jets, and the Commanders come on. And then won the last 2 games, ultimately the playoffs. No division title again, but at least, once again, we are in the playoffs. Josh Allen, over his last season yards. 37 touchdowns is nice, 12 interceptions. Pretty much the same season last year. Damian Harris, though, worse yards per carry, more total yards, though, and touchdowns, I believe, which is a little bit strange. Stephon Diggs was amazing. Davis was really good. Hardy was really good. Knox was solid. And then Kincaid just barely got used at all. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to use him. I tried to put him in the slot wide receiver spot at the number 3 role, and doesn't matter. Stewart also had a really bad season, suckily, which is weird to say. Rousseau, 17 sacks, Rousseau anyways, 15 sacks for Miller, 10 for Oliver, even Phelps got involved with 16, so really good numbers there. White with 5, it was a really good season. The kicking was great, definitely the better of the 2 seasons, without a doubt. I was going to say best season, but there's only 2 seasons, so it's it's best of 2. Rodgers MVP still, number 2 at least, in the league on the Jets. Kind of expected it because they did so well, but still, you don't know. Love with a Defensive Rookie of the Year award win. Rodgers' best quarterback, and that was the only award we won, but it's still an award which might make him an X Factor. Either way, going up against the Jaguars, lower overall team. I hope we win this game. I can't guarantee anything, but I really hope we do. To the end of the game, right to left is definitely them. 7-0. 10-0. Nice bounce back drive. They get a huge one too, though. We're down by 10 now. Huge drive, huge touchdown. And we are up by 4. Nice resilience by this team. Up by 1. A touchdown would be nice. Don't get it. We're down by 3. At the 7. You need it. They get it. Up by 4, but there's 3 minutes left. Can the Jaguars win it? With 4 seconds left from the 12. The team is going for the freaking Hail Mary blitz. I guess I'll go with Phelps because he's the worst of the bunch. They go for it. He's short to the 1, but I didn't notice they had a timeout. How did they get a 3-second throw off? From the 1, they get it on the run commit. They baited us out at the line and win the game. It seemed like a run, and they threw it. I mean, they had a crazy game. Obviously, the yards per carry wise, boosted by that huge run they had. But, wow, another disappointing. I mean, I guess last season wasn't really disappointing. This season would definitely be considered disappointing. Jaguars taking out some really tough teams. And once again, Bass just missing in the biggest game. Like, the moments that he misses in are just insane, dude. I don't understand how he constantly does it. The Bengals versus the Cowboys says we have about 25 mil. I'm hoping we do because we need Gabe Davis. 41 mil, nice. And the Cowboys get revenge, but not against the Chiefs, just against the AFC with a Super Bowl win. Time to take a look at the DevUps, assuming we even had any. And on offense, none. Not really shocking. And then defensively, I really thought Love would have went up to X Factor, unless he only was star, and I'm just like losing my mind. Williams is still normal, by the way, and okay, I mean, Love had a really good year though, so at least we have another linebacker that's kind of developing, similarly to Milano, if you will. But really good stuff, obviously, for us to get a new linebacker that is going to be the future of the position, pretty much. Already really good block shed and zone coverage for a rookie. And then obviously Dorian Williams might need to be replaced, but Gabe Davis, usually see him in free agency. Not going to happen this time, I assume, because once again, we're only going to get this one shot to re-sign him, as we just didn't have any money before this point in time to do anything about it. Also, don't know if there was any potential retirements. Let's take a look, as Von Miller was definitely a candidate for that. And did he retire? He did not. Both of the linemen we did have as mentors, which they were pretty crap because our right tackle was terrible, did retire. But Von Miller's still here, giving himself one more go, it seems. 35 years old is kind of the cutoff point for a lot of players, but Von is a special player, so glad to see him still going. But yeah, I mean, Gabe Davis, can we re-sign him? That's the question. Of course, Micah Hyde is still usable, so if we wanted to keep him, we could. But at this point, I think, Rousseau needing a contract, you probably let him go. Gabe Davis is still kind of midly interested, so if he's willing to do a 5-year 105, and he is, so we get our guy back on about a $20 million per year deal, pretty much $21 million, and that's about that. 23 mil left. Hardy was really good for us, but we're really broke. Like, we have 23 mil, and we have other positions that we need to fill, and we're rhyming because I took a pill. Free agency, obviously, talking about free safeties, Antoine Winfield Jr., I think that's a little out of our price range. I think before I make any moves here, though, or even decisions, probably should look at the chart, see what kind of money we got. So we could replace Dawkins next season. Milano probably needs to be replaced, but we'll see. Morse could be gone right now, which I probably am going to exercise that, remove his penalty, release him thing, because once again, we're a year behind, so he should actually be gone. Hines, I think, might be gone as well because we just need all the money we can get, and he's just a backup / kick return guy right now. We can save like a good 15, 20 mil right now, which, I mean, call me crazy, gives me kind of a want to go for Winfield. I don't know. We'll see. So I tried to get Patrick Queen, and he did not sign. We offered him a 3-year 23. He ended up joining on a 3-year 20 to the Texans, who I imagine are still pretty bad. Another team has offered on Winfield. I have, and we got him. Not on a bad deal either. A 4-year, $52 million deal. So we lose Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, yet we still have the best safety duo in the league, which is crazy to think, but it's true. We'll tell you this much. This is welcomed. We absolutely need more time. Try to build up a little bit of cap space if we can, and that probably starts with Von Miller retiring, if that's possible. I don't know if he wants to ever retire. Maybe next season, if you don't mind. So there are a couple of decent edge rushers. I would say that Brackett is probably the best, but once again, the classic 1 to 2 means that we will have to wait, although this guy is 22. A little bit worse looking. I would rather have Brackett, but at the same time, I can't really trade up for someone. And then we have Lowry, who looks decent with an A power move. But I'm really just going to grab whoever's remaining of the 3, I think. Lowry and Sanford are similar, whereas Brackett, I think, is the best of the three. So if Brackett's first, then I might as well wait. Whereas, if Sanford's first, I may make a play at that point. Lowry is the first to go at 14, dude. Please tell me the other two aren't going to go that soon. No, we actually get a choice. All right. I think one is younger than the other, and of course the one that is younger is the one with the B block shed, whereas Mr. Sanford, I believe, is the one that is 22. So this is about as clear-cut as it's going to get. So Mr. Trey Brackett is going to be our choice for the future to replace Von Miller. Let's believe. Yes, I was about to say, let's please say we got hit in. We do. 86 strength, 81 speed, 82 excel. Not the fastest guy in the world, but definitely usable and what I would consider to be a decent pick. There's a guard I want that's a 2 to 3, but I have a 3 to 4 that's also pretty good. So whoever's there is there. It'd be nice if the guard was there because I've seen 2 to 3s last, and both of my players are here, the center and the guard. The center is built, ironically enough, to play center, but this guy just looks so much better. I got to grab Greg Short, who is hidden development trait. I mean, hidden dev is always hit or miss, but obviously that guy just looked way too good to pass on. And somehow the center is still there. I really like Cody Wimbley as well. This would cost me a bit to get up to, but it would also finish the roster pretty much. So I am going to try and do that by trading with, not the Dolphins actually. Please, Dolphins, don't take them. I do not want to lose my player to the Dolphins. Thank you. Go to the Saints. Damn Brokies. 119 and Bates for 66. Houston's a backup. I guess we'll have him on the roster, but obviously I just wanted the pick, and they just couldn't afford him. But that's a really good guard for, a third-round draft pick. Tremaine Ellison, please be hidden. Yes, we're done. We're done. Offensive line set. I accidentally just simmed my pick, and I don't even know what we just took. There's also a solid-looking running back. I don't know if he would have been there still, so maybe we got the solid-looking running back. I don't know, but a little bit of an L because I just obviously lost our draft pick. And these like faster wide receivers have been going earlier and earlier. I'm going to take the UDFA Hoffman because he's fast. In the late 5th, 95 speed, 95 excel. Probably will be our slot wide receiver unless we have somebody better on the roster that I'm not aware of. All right, $22.5 million left to work with. What is our overall? So we got 74, 74, 71, 70. Oh, it was the edge rusher. Was he hidden? Oh, no. It's not bad, and we'll take the depth, but that kind of sucks. The running back, well, actually, no, because I would have had the edge rusher higher. But I want to see that running back because he looked really good. He's probably another 75 plus, maybe even hidden. But Brackett is the right end that we got. Mr. Brackett. We'll have to compare it to the other guy because obviously we had a literal choice. Look at all those traits, though. That is a good pick. We literally had the choice to take whoever we wanted of the two. So, star dev. If this guy was worse, then it's completely on us, no one else. Short will be the new left guard, obviously, and it seems like we made a good choice trading up for the center because this guy looks pretty good, especially as a pass blocker, which is kind of the main thing that the Bills care about for blocking. Did I say pass rusher? I don't know. Pass blocking. Regardless, star dev. The center being a low overall makes me maybe think he's a superstar, but I don't know. Actually pretty balanced outside of pass block power. Let's take a look at his dev, another 22-year-old lineman, which it is what it is. Doesn't really matter. Nope, I was wrong. Not superstar. And then the wide receiver is 79. I mean, who cares about that stuff? Let's take a look at the two pass rushers, and then if I can find the running back, I will try to do that as well. So Mr. Lowry went really high. 14 to the Chiefs, hidden development trait, 84 speed, 84 excel, or 82 speed, 84 excel, 82 power move, 71 block shed, looking kind of ferocious. And he is only star. Okay, so I guess trading up for him wouldn't have been a good decision. So there's that. And then the guy we took went right before the other guy. So the other guy was, the Raiders were like, we're taking whoever you don't take. Definitely worse in block shed, but better in strength. 22 years old, so he is 1 year older, which is why we took him mainly over this guy. And he's superstar. Here we go for Season 3. Damian Harris is now an 86 overall, but he's also a 27-year-old, which means he's probably got like one more upgrade, maybe two more upgrades in him before he starts to either just not upgrade / regress. Wide receiver 3 is taking a hit with Hoffman, but he's fast, so there's that. O-line is worse than it was last season, but there's way more potential. And then looking at defense, we probably need a new middle linebacker. Milano probably is going to be gone just based on his age and the fact that we are broke, but mostly the age. So will this team ever be good, or will it be a team that's just constantly rotating pieces? And I mean, I guess we're always good, but as far as like good enough to win a Super Bowl, or just rotating too many pieces and not winning at all, I will say other teams have bigger holes than we do. Hey, I mean, look at the Eagles, best team in the league, and they're 86 overall now. So, I mean, we're still one of the best teams in the league. We just gotta win. So it's a rare sighting, but Wiggins actually got a +3 to man coverage because he's got 1 of 2 tandem breakouts, and now apparently he has whatever the hell this is. It said defensive breakout, that's all. 39 mil, but I imagine that's going to go away. Oh, it's actually not terrible. We also found this random corner that was hidden development trade. Maybe Matt Milano stays. No, he doesn't. A 1-year deal on this would be great, I suppose. I mean, that's like a tag price anyways. Okay, a 1-year 20.5, which I guess is okay. Deion Dawkins actually improved, so a 2-year 30. Ooh, we're down to 4 mil. Easier to find linemen than it is to find linebackers that are good, at least, as linemen are hit or miss anyways. Do you pay him when you know you have to pay Rousseau, who is already getting quite a bit of money anyway, so he probably wouldn't feel the burn that much, but I don't know. I think you maybe don't re-sign Dawkins. If we win, we might actually have the bye week, which we lose, which I don't know if that actually did affect it or not. It would not have. The Chiefs are 15-2, so it wouldn't have mattered, but still would have been nice to just win out. But we did lose to the Titans, now facing off against the Dolphins in the first game. Not seeing our quarterback on the first, or the top 3 quarterback list for the first time all rebuild long. A couple losses in between games. You win 4, lose, win 4, lose, pretty much across the season. Let's take a look at the stats. Can't really see any of our players actually on the front page. Oh, worst season yet, I believe, right? Definitely for yards. Touchdowns are pretty much even. I guess technically 2022 because of less touchdowns, but very similar stuff across the board, I suppose, but definitely close to the worst season we've seen. Damian Harris, though, with his best season we've seen. Diggs was great. Gabe Davis was decent. Hoffman was okay. Knox was kind of useless. Kincaid, 256 yards with a touchdown. Kind of utilizing him poorly, but what can you do? Stewart, 1 less sack allowed than last year, I believe. Dawkins with 9. Defensively, Von Miller with 19 sacks. Rousseau at 23. Phelps with 14. 7.5 for Ed Oliver. 9 picks for Trey White. This defense is on fire. Dorian Williams could be a dev up guy now. Tyler Bass was great. I mean, outside of like the receiving game a little bit, this is easily the best season we've seen, especially the defense. But let's take a look at the MVP. Goes to Lamar Jackson. Any award wins outside of that, we get nothing. And Trey White wins. No D-line, really? Number 2 and 3. Okay, I mean, fair enough. This is the best chance to win it because there's a chance Von Miller's gone after the season. So can it happen? Let's see. Here we go. Will it be the Buffalo Bills' time? Our defense is really good, even though we gave up a touchdown in the first drive. Offense getting total of 6, 6-14, 9-14, 16-14. Field goals, I guess, added up by 2. No one's really scoring in the second half. Come on. Come on, offense. Defense is doing everything they can. And the defense wins in the game, 22-17. I mean, to stop the Dolphins offense with their receiving threats is crazy. To 17 points, that's insanity. They're still trying to find their running back, too, it seems. Bradley Chubb, they did pretty well on the pass rush. Elam with an interception, never heard that name. All rebuild. 10 interceptions on the year now for White, and no missed field goals from Bass, which was the biggest factor of the entire game. All right, 9-18, barely beat them. Can't wait to fight the Chiefs. The Ravens, playoff blizzard. I don't think this helps or hurts any team. Maybe actually helps them a little bit because they run the ball more, but I'm just not going to click it. It's just stupid. It's pointless. Affects everyone equally, so what's the point? Chiefs versus Titans. I wonder who's going to win that game. Actually wonder. There's actually like no point in even trying to become a dynasty anymore because the Chiefs just win the Super Bowl all the time. So it's like, what's even the point? You can't beat them. If the Chiefs win a Super Bowl in the rebuild you're doing, you can't beat them because they've already gotten 3 within a short period of time. What are you going to do? 3 yourself? Not likely. 26-17, 29-17, 29-20, and that should be a win. Maybe not. Super close to choking. They were within field goal range. Did they even attempt it? Did they miss it by a little bit? Oh my God, how are you getting out-thrown by Lamar Jackson? Like, that's just not what you do. Like, you just don't let that happen. Rousseau did really well. Burgess with a pick, and I guess they just never got in range. They were just outside of it. Really leaving the game up to Tucker to kick a field goal, huh? Good job, guys. Didn't actually see the bottom, so I don't know if it's the Titans or the Chiefs. We'll find out. Let's see who it is. Shocker, the Chiefs. Snowy game again for the rematch. The ultimate end to a rebuild, maybe, if we win. As once again, especially if Von Miller retires, I don't see us dethroning the Chiefs. I mean, oh, nice start. Winning this one would be one thing, but to win, what, technically 2 more Super Bowls back-to-back I would have to do. I would have to do 3 in a row, basically, within that 5-year mark. Don't think that's going to happen. 17-13, still 17-13, 24-13, 31-13, 31-20. I was going to, get a little excited about we win the game, but didn't at the time, and we win it this time. If we lose to one of these NFC teams that are just nowhere near as good as either of these 2 teams, force 2 interceptions on Mahomes, nice. I'm going to be furious. Both teams running the ball similarly. I mean, it was just a really similar game across the board. The difference was they threw 2 interceptions. Dorian Williams with an interception. Kicking was perfect. We're headed on to the Super Bowl against one of the NFC East teams. It is East versus East in the Super Bowl. And it is going to be the Giants. Kind of expected it to be, but you just never know. Let's take a look at our dev-ups if we had any. Offensively, none. Not really shocking. Dorian, still normal after that. See, I mean, he's just never going to go up in dev. We got to replace him, I guess. But although if we win, I might be done. Phelps. Really good season with 14.5 sacks. Didn't go up in dev either. I don't know how to tell you, these dev-ups, man, they make no sense. Bernard went up on like a 60 tackle, like 3 tackle for a loss, like crap season. And yet we can't even get a dev up for Dorian Williams. You had like 1 billion picks, 1 billion tackles. I don't even know what to tell you. Here it is, 91 overall against the 87 overall Giants. End of the game. Giants looking like they're scoring, 3 points. They're driving down easily. This defense is supposed to be so good, yet it just sucks. 10-3. Yeah, maybe give them an apology. 6-10, 6-13, 13-13. I take the apology back. They're trash. 20-13. Gonna win a really boring Super Bowl, but we win. The Buffalo Bills are champions. That region of the world, or the U.S. anyways, is kind of celebrating. It's like, yay, we kind of all win in a way. But yeah, Super Bowl win for the Bills. Really not the hardest. That blue looked really cool on that jersey number. Not the hardest team in the world to rebuild, but hard conference, which makes it a really hard team. Von Miller, I guess you could call him Von Willer, just winning tons of games, willing teams to win Super Bowls, multiple team Super Bowl winner, huge part in all of them, and obvious first ballot Hall of Famer at this rate. Josh Allen is an MVP, and man, the AFC has itself some competition. It is a hell of a conference, and the NFC is just watching from the back seat, basically, as another AFC team is hoisting the Lombardi, even though technically the Cowboys won a Super Bowl in this realm last season. Daniel Jones was obviously still their quarterback, but basically outplaying Allen, despite the fact that he threw 2 interceptions. Damian Harris did have 2 rushing touchdowns, which plays a factor, but Elijah Moore is a giant, apparently. Sack totals. Von Willer, dude. 3.5 sacks. He's just him. White with 2 interceptions. Carlos Logan with a pick. Tyler Bass woke up finally and didn't miss a kick in the playoffs. Obviously, doesn't matter because we're so broke that I wouldn't be able to re-sign him anyways. And we're about to lose Deion Dawkins probably, so I don't know if there's really a reason to do... Is there really a reason to do another Super Bowl? Another try? What the hell am I doing? I was literally going to look at the Super Bowl there and just forgot to do it. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what kind of money we have, see if we can even keep any of this team kind of intact. If we lost this Super Bowl, though, I'd probably call it because it's like if we win back-to-back, you can make an argument that this is a better team than the Chiefs team, but if you don't win back-to-back, it's like, oh, you're literally doing what the Chiefs did, but you still have less Super Bowls. It's like, congrats. Because in this realm, they have 3 Super Bowls in, 5 years, whereas we would have, 2 Super Bowls in 3 years? We'd have to win another one, and we're only doing 5 seasons. Not going to happen. Although you can see here, with the money, we do actually have a little bit to work with. So I might give it one more season here. I think I'm going to give it one more year. Also, let's do a 2-year 34. Nice. We got the deal. 30 mil. I suppose Tyler Bass was pretty good, even though we got a new kicker. I guess we'll keep him. Got to pay a kicker sooner or later anyways, pretty much. And outside of that corner, I think we're going to let everyone else go. If the corner even wants to re-sign, which he does not. But yeah, we'll do one more season. And I suppose if we were to win, we would do a 5th, because then we could win 3 in a row. But don't know if that's going to happen. We'll find out. Von Miller did retire. I'm debating it. As far as free agency goes, you could get someone like Josh Sweat. I don't know if he's really going to match that production. I don't think he's worth $20 million per. Joe could be interesting, as Dorian Williams is not the guy, but I don't know. Dorian Williams isn't bad. It's just I don't know if he's the guy because he's not developing. I mean, this would be a worse team, but we did win the Super Bowl. If we lost the Super Bowl, I'd say no point in doing it. Well, I guess I wouldn't because it's not 5 years, but there's the 5-year mark, obviously. But yeah, I guess, to be fair, we won the Super Bowl, so we don't know if we can still do it without him or not. But obviously, if we didn't win and then it's without him, it's like, well, clearly not going to do it because now you've lost him and you couldn't do it with him. So, but I guess we'll try one more. Now, I wouldn't say that wide receiver is our biggest need, but number 3 wide receiver hasn't been great. And this guy looks pretty good. Joe Bird, very good key ratings, 21 years old, and ultimately 4.26 40. Almost passed out trying to say that. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But classic trade up. If the player is there around 20-ish, I'll grab him. This kind of looks like a player that would be gone by 15, though. One of those 1 to 2s that are a top 15, top 20 pick. So there's an unlikely chance that he is there, but I suppose we will play it out, see if he is. We give them 32, 61. 61 is next year, and Broker for 21, them being the Vikings. 11 spot jump for a second-round pick is not terrible, and we're going to be taking that wide receiver at this pick. There's a cornerback that looks pretty decent, too, because he's athletic, but that is far from the need, whereas slot wide receiver, maybe even future starting wide receiver with Diggs getting older, is a much bigger need, so Joe Bird's going to be the choice, and I did kind of fear that was a possibility, but 99 speed, 90 jumping, 96 excel is, I mean, what can you ask for? We get the Cardinal. What did I just do? I just sold so hard. I got to get that back, or I'll just, I do have to get it back. I don't know why I thought it was the Cardinals pick that it was at. What pick are we? It was the Falcon. Oh, my God. Well, all of that stuff for the Falcons pick, basically. Now I have to do this whole thing. All right, it has happened, which means we will be taking the linebacker Dominic Jefferson, a 2 to 3, who is very athletic. And if we're ever going to replace Dorian Williams, I think now is the time. Is hidden development trait. It's always a risk with these linebackers. You just never know. I actually feel like I do have better luck in the day 3 category, but there just wasn't any decent ones in this one, so I had to go higher than normal, and I think it worked out, as once again he is hidden and he's athletic. That's really the only 2 things that matter to me. All right, no 4th round pick, but there are actually 2 decent day 3 linemen here, so if I were to guess who is better, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I'm probably just going to go with whoever's younger, did not participate, has good strength, very decent athleticism with Hyde, who is 22 years old, which automatically takes him out of the running for this draft pick. So, DeMarcus Frey is my choice, and he's in development trade. We win. We already got our speedy wide receiver, but why not get another one? Victor Blackwell, which sounds like super old namey, like some lord from the 1700s. All right, let's take a look at the overalls of these players. The wide receiver is actually pretty good. 77, 72 for the linebacker, which kind of sucks. 72 for the center, who cares? 70 for the wide receiver, and then the random quarterback I took with Mr. Irrelevant was terrible. But 77 overall, he is very good. Injury and's great. Stamina's solid. Toughness sucks. Who cares? But 90 jump, 85 spec, 81 catch. The biggest thing, 81 release with 99 speed. This isn't like a superstar or an X Factor, generational guy, But as far as like Madden terms go, he is actually one of the best wide receivers you could physically get. 99 speed with 81 release is not so busted. And obviously he's not even like 5'10 or something. He's 6 foot tall, so great injury and stamina as well means he is one of the better wide receivers you could physically draft in the game. It's crazy to say, but for a normal dev guy, but it is true. Speed is king, and you can't get higher than 99. We literally just got like a young Tyreek Hill, star dev for the middle linebacker, but he probably will start over Dorian, who's just all these years down the line has yet to develop, even though, I mean, technically he should have had a breakout or a star dev by now, as he played pretty well last season, like over 130 tackles, but game doesn't care. Let's go on to Season 4, which could be the final season if we don't win the Super Bowl. The face of the man that can dethrone the Mahomes, if possible. This offense looks pretty good. The offensive line is obviously still a little iffy, and obviously they're probably really bad at power blocking, but receiving threats are really good. Kincaid's been kind of wasted, but it is what it is. If it makes it hard for them to cover, I guess. But defensively, we're starting a new guy with Brackett at right end. Corner number 2 is still lacking a little bit. Strong safety should be like an 88 by the end of the season. It's a decent team. It's a little spotty on some of the overalls, but as far as like who is going to be the starter, all of that is sorted. They're just, developing. Brackett ain't playing around. 10k XP plus the 3 to power move and finesse. Not having a great season, which I don't quite understand. There's some really big names here, at least 3 that we will need to re-sign. Rousseau is the number 1, I don't know why I keep messing his name up, guy to re-sign for sure, and he is being difficult. Love it. Trey White's at least a 2-year deal, so let's do that. We still have good amount of money. And Osiris Torrance is the next one. I suppose his ask isn't crazy, so a 4-year, 37 point whatever. 40 mil left to re-sign Rousseau. Milano is probably gone at this point, and I guess I'm okay with losing everyone else, I suppose. He didn't want a 5-year 120, so he says, I'm not interested in signing. Well, you're going to get tagged, so whatever. All right, we might need to win this to be in the playoffs, and we do win it, making us the division leaders, but only in the playoffs at a 10-7 rate. We actually beat the Chiefs, who were 9-7 at the time, I believe, but really bad start to the season, and there's the finish. I did not change the scheme at all this entire rebuild, so that is basically where we stand there. Looking at the stats, Josh Allen's technical best season yet, I suppose. Rushing numbers, Damian Harris, pretty solid yet again. Diggs, Davis, and Bird all over 1,000. Knox was decent, and then Kincaid just barely being used yet again. Did what I could. I did what I could. Stewart and Dawkins, not great, combining for almost 30 sacks allowed. Rousseau with 19 sacks, Oliver 12.5, Phelps with 7.5, and then Brackett with 7, which was not a bad, quote-unquote rookie year for him. Interceptions were low. Bass was great. Punting was decent. Kick return game, punt return game, no touchdowns. Award wins, maybe Rousseau, but outside of that, I doubt it. Lamar Jackson's been crushing it lately. And that's a new one. Offensive lineman of the year, which means Torrance is superstar. That's pretty cool, actually. That's super rare. You never see that. But here we go. The Dolphins. This is how we started our playoff or Super Bowl run last year. Will we do it again? Will this be the last season, or will we do another one because we won back-to-back Super Bowls? I have yet to find out. We're all trying to find out at the same time. 17-14. 17 all at half. Pretty close game. Up by 7, up by 14, up by 17. Dolphins trying to make a comeback. It will not happen. 41-27. Looking at the numbers. Marshall, definitely not great. Receiving. They still have Leonard Fournette as their starter, despite the fact that he's been really bad in the playoffs. Trey White with 2 interceptions and pretty damn clean game from us for the most part. Divisional. Who is it against? It is, the Bengals. Interesting team drop. I did not want to play the moments. Wanted to just play the game, but thank you, EA, for trying to make my life sad. Here it is. We have 4 overalls on them. End of the game. Right to left is them. They get 3. We get nothing. They get nothing. We get 3. They get 7. We get nothing. They get 7. Uh-oh. Nice touchdown drive. Down by 7. Down by 14 again. Nice touchdown drive. Down by 7. Down by 14 again. Down by 7 again. And just like that, game could be had. 3rd and 5, converting. 31 all. 8 minutes left. They're going backwards. The comeback of a century. And we're headed to the championship round. Look at us go. Choke job by the Bengals. Very good quarterback performances. Harris looking pretty good there. Diggs was great. Davis was solid. Brackett decent. You know, he's not quite Von Miller, but he's, you know, playing pretty well for a youngster. And not praying pretty well, playing pretty well. I mean, maybe he prays well, I don't know. And the Colts in the championship game. Okay, this is a new one. No Chiefs. Once again, like I said, we did beat them when they had like only 9 wins right at the end of the season, so they might have even missed. Who knows, but weird season. Dallas and the Giants on the other side, so Giants could make back-to-back along with us. See what happens here. Going against the Kilts. 7-0, nothing. Nothing for them. 7-3. 14-3. 14-10. Still 14-10. 14-7. So we're up by 3 now. Up by 6. Up by 12. And we're going to win the game. Headed on to another Super Bowl. Back-to-back. George Jennings, oh, so apparently Anthony Richardson's not the guy, but 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Allen wasn't as good as he usually is, but he's still good. The run defense on this team has been really killing it, though. Looking at the defense, Brackett really cooking up, though, I gotta say. A lot of interceptions in this one, a lot of missed field goals as well. The Super Bowl against either the Cowboys or the Giants. If the Cowboys win this and they beat us, they have 2 Super Bowl wins in this very rebuild. It is the Cowboys, as kind of expected, but I guess not guaranteed. Dev-ups on the offense, not even the rookie Bird got a dev-up, sadly. And then defensively, Ed Oliver went up in dev. So did Matt Milano. It's a couple of dev-ups on defense. No dev-ups for the safeties, which sucks, but here it is, the Super Bowl. Let's see it. Can Dallas win it? They get 3, they get 10 after a turnover. We drive down, get nothing. Not looking great. Nice touchdown drive. Up by 10, the Cowboys are, and it's still a 3-point, anyways, deficit. Down by 3, up by 4. Drive down for nothing, and this could be the win. And we will have to punt it. Oh, my God. They could walk off with the winner. And did they not get it? They're still moving with 20 seconds left. Bird with the speed on that outside. And there goes Dawson Knox. Doesn't need to get out of bounds, might as well. Gains, 23 yards on 5 seconds. Totally worth it. All we need is a field goal. Obviously, let the AI kick it. Allen, super, super talented guy. To the outside. Pretty good throw. Did Bird not get the foot down? Idiot. I should have just possession because we have the timeouts. But I just figured he catches it and run out of bounds, stops the clock. All right, apparently they want us to go for an onside kick. You know, that takes it right away, whereas if you go for a possession, it's not necessarily the case. Gabe Davis, we just need like 10 to 15. That's a tough one. Gabe Davis catches it, and that should be a field goal for the tie. He hit it overtime. Is it us? It is them. Could win it. Not going to happen. A punt. It's another chance. No! Josh Allen and the Bills choke. Dallas wins another Super Bowl, becomes a dynasty, and ends the rebuild. Wow. Josh Allen throwing 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl is ultimately what costed us this game. That is unfortunate. Deontay Banks and Cloud with interceptions. Bass missed no field goals. That's unfortunate. We had it in the bag. I mean, the defense did everything they could, and then no offensive success, and then an interception that quite literally won them the game. They were at like the 21-yard line after the pick. Yikes. Yikes, indeedy. That was not good. Were the Chiefs actually? They were. They just lost to the Colts, surprisingly. Some high-scoring games in here, though. But that's going to be the end of the rebuild. I mean, if you can't beat the Chiefs from real life or the in-game Cowboys, basically, I mean, there's really no point in going on, right? I mean, we can't outdo those teams, so they win, I suppose. The Chiefs and the Cowboys are the better teams of the decade, or half-decade, whatever you want to call it. But let's take a look at the overalls. Diggs, the 99 overall wide receiver, 31 years old, looking super good. I mean, at 31, that's insane. What else do we have? We have Gabe Davis, who ended up being a 95 overall. He had some pretty good seasons, like 1,000 yards every season. Short route sucks, but everything else is great. He's literally like a taller Stephon Diggs, and he's great in general. Damian Harris, the 91 overall, actually got higher than I thought he was going to. 92 truck, 91 speed, 92 excel. Bird, obviously we just got him, but I'm still curious. 81 overall, went up a couple of overalls, like 4 of them. Went up in excel. Release went through the roof. Wow, okay, so that's an interesting set of upgrades. Dawson Knox, the 90 overall player now, super fast, solid route running, great catching. Looking at Dalton Kincaid, who didn't really get much of a chance to start, or start at all. 80 overall now, headed on to being 27. He's good value. He's, a good depth piece, but definitely did not get as much use out of him as I imagine the real-life Bills will get. Osiris Torrance, obviously the superstar dev because of O-line of the year, which is clutch timing. Terrible finesse blocker, but really good power blocker. And his strength didn't even start that high because he didn't really have that great of a bench press, even though he is like a mauler. So I had his strength pretty low, but he just got a bunch of upgrades. I think he started at either 91 or 93, which he finished with 96 is pretty impressive. I guess we'll take a look at Deion Dawkins. Why the hell not? Much better pass blocker in general, and finesse is quite a bit better than most of the players on the team. That's it for the offense. Is not true because I completely forgot the literal man of the show, man of the hour, super accurate Josh Allen, 88 speed and 92 excel. I don't know if that's what he normally starts with, but that's pretty busted. It's paranoid sense of pressure for Josh Allen though, which that actually kind of like doesn't that would I would assume even though he's great would affect him in game. No, Love, Mr. Will Love, very good, great zone, solid block shed. He's top tier, hit the ground running like a beast. Milano, 91 overall, he is 31 years old now, but with that dev up, probably worthy of a re-sign, even though I'm not sure if we could actually afford him. We're broke as hell. Jefferson was new, so there's really no point in looking. Kelly, Javon Kelly, 90 zone, even got a speed upgrade. 96 speed at safety is ridiculous. I don't really care too much for Winfield because we just got him and he was already like a 91 overall. Trey White, basically 99 everything. Ridiculous. Anyone that calls him slightly overrated is just an idiot. What about Wiggins? 87 overall. I got to imagine, his zone is going to suck. 92, man. Very bad zone, but he's still good. Anyone else that we want to see? Rousseau. He was amazing in this one with 95 finesse, 99 power move, 83 block shed. He's ridiculous. Of course, didn't end up getting the contract, but we would have just tagged him anyways. Ed Oliver, the 92 overall X Factor. Power move is only 83, but 89 block shed. So once again, even at this case, still more of a name than he is a talent, but he at least played well. Brackett, the new name, 84 overall, after 1 year. Really good season for a quote-unquote, like I said, rookie. Usually first year is like 5 or less sacks. He had like 7+. Phelps had a really good season, kind of dropped off this latest season, but 90 finesse, solid. And I believe, other than maybe taking a look at Bass, who was pretty good outside of the that one playoff season, that's it. 98 kick power, 86 accuracy, pretty cool. That's going to be it for the realistic style rebuild of the Buffalo Bills. Should be a lot of fun watching them in real life, especially against the Chiefs and the Bengals. There's some really powerhouse, especially offense-heavy teams in the AFC. Obviously, the Bills have a pretty damn good defense on top of it, but should be some fun. I mean, the Bills are obviously, assuming they stay healthy, which, you could say that for a lot of different teams, are one of the front runners for a Super Bowl title, obviously, every single season. And we'll see what happens, especially their utilization of Dalton Kincaid, who the Cowboys and their fans are probably still really furious at. But that's going to be it. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate continued support on the channel. Should have been, I would imagine, a Miners episode earlier today, and no upload on the main channel tomorrow, but should be on PK or Plays. Maybe subscribe over there. I've been playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor, so should be an upload over there. And then on Saturday, should have 2 Miners episodes with yet another rebuild on Sunday, I'd imagine. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until the next video, maybe suggest some teams. See ya!